Hey, American Express card members, you don't want to miss this. Now through December 31st, there's a big reason for you to shop small at local stores in your neighborhood. Learn more and enroll your eligible card today at americanexpress.com/shop small offer. Terms apply.
Hey, college football fans, I'm Ivan Maisel. On the latest Championship Drive podcast, the latest in coaching hires, the effect on the American, and we remember Rashaan Salaam.
This is Mike and Mike on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Baseball's hot stove is burning up, especially in Boston. It seems like the Red Sox got a sale on a guy named Sale. Get it? Well done.
We're absolutely thrilled to have Chris Sale on board with us. We feel it gives us a chance to win now.
Phil Jackson doesn't speak often, but when he does, he sets it off.
I've always given the utmost respect to everyone, all my peers, people that has laid the path for me.
Breaking news, Oregon has found its new football coach, Mike, and that coach is Willie Taggart.
Now, here's Mike and Mike.
Here we are, all that and more on the hopper on this morning. Mike and Mike presented by Progressive Insurance. We'll have John Gruden on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line in just a moment. It is a day of anniversaries of entirely different sorts. Overwhelmingly, the most significant of which, as you are probably aware, is that today is the 75th anniversary of the date that will live in infamy, which was the attack on Pearl Harbor. And for those of you watching with us on ESPN2, you just saw a little presentation that was put together by our friend and colleague Sal Palantonio. I had seen that before. I believe we read it around Veterans Day.
We read it on Veterans Day, and we both we knew that Sal had served, but we did not know that he served at Pearl Harbor. So that when we first saw that on Veterans Day, that caught us both off guard. It's an incredible piece, narrated, of course, by Sal Pal, and in going through that, the Pearl Harbor situation, and then when he was stationed there, it's really amazing, really amazing.
Yeah. So that was a beautifully done piece there, and I hope they get a chance to see it for those of you if you're listening with us on ESPN Radio. It's certainly an extraordinarily significant date, and then at an entirely different level. I mean, stop. New paragraph, because these are not comparable circumstances. But we also have mentioned repeatedly this morning it is Larry Bird's 60th birthday today. And I have been told it is also Johnny Bench's 69th birthday.
Love that.
So some icons celebrating birthdays on this day. Got into a little bit of a conversation about Larry Bird and some of the other things that we're talking about here today, comparing Bird to... It always turns into a conversation about comparing people to LeBron.
Yes, it does.
And somehow that manages to be inescapable.
It really is, and it's just hard to do. It's just hard to do, but that is what we do. That's kind of the essence of this show and our job in sports talk radio, right, is to talk about people from most of the time from different eras and trying to compare them in the same sport that they played, which can be difficult to do, but also can be a lot of fun to do as well.
All right, a variety of topics in the first hour this morning. I got a bunch of Twitter reaction to those, but am I told John is ready to go? John Gruden is there. He's ready, guys? Is that correct? Okay, great. John Gruden joins us every Wednesday at this time, and it always begins with Gruden's Groove, which is powered by Die Hard at Sears Auto Centers. And so let's see how this one goes. Today's Gruden Groove was tweeted in by Joe Brower. Let's see how much he likes this. Today's Gruden's Groove is Shining On by Grand Funk Railroad. John, what do you think?
Well, I have 1,700 songs in my iPad here, whatever you call it, and that's not one of them. That's a major disappointment here. This is a classic rock show here, so let's pick that up a little bit, man.
Wow.
Wow. I'm not gonna lie to you, when I saw that pop up on our screen, I was a little worried.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I don't know if I was worried, but I was unsure. And you know what? Now what we both are, we're both sure.
Oh yeah, no,
it was wrong.
In fact, guys,
nothing wrong with Grand Funk. Nothing wrong with Grand Funk. But let's take one of their hits, not one of their backup songs.
All right, let's. That's
the B-side.
Yeah, that's a special teamer. That's a guy who's just running down on kick coverage. Get us another song before we let John go this morning. Introducing the new Die Hard Silver Touring Tower. Get the power of Die Hard at Sears Auto Centers. But John, if you're extraordinarily aggravated by that, then you have some idea how I felt watching your game on Monday night as the Jets just did not show up to play against the Indianapolis Colts, and everyone wants me to stop talking about it, so I'll let these be the final words that we have for this week. What was your interpretation of what we saw from a Jets team that just they should be better than what they put out there on the field a lot of this year, and certainly on Monday night? What did you take away?
Well, I was obviously disappointed. They had come in there, as you know, Mike, with 3 tough losses in a row, close, hard-fought losses at Miami. The Rams game was 9-6. They lose in the closing minutes to New England. There wasn't a lot of upbeat, positive vibe coming out of there. I was concerned coming into the game, but you love to watch teams in adversity. I really love watching teams. We saw Green Bay in adversity thrive. And the Jets, they just look like they took a dive in adversity from the very beginning, and it's disappointing. But a lot of their best players are struggling this year. I think Muhammad Wilkerson is hurt, in my opinion. I don't want to speak for anybody else, but he doesn't look like he's the same player at all. Darrelle Revis has had a number of injuries. He hasn't played like the Darrelle Revis we all know. They've had huge quarterback problems this season. And when you combine those things and the fact that the Brickashaw Ferguson, one of the game's best left tackles, retired, and they had that tough schedule, there's some real dark gloom right now, unfortunately, in the Jets.
In a general sense, whether it was when you were a head coach or an assistant coach, and we all know, if anybody who's been around football long enough, you have seasons that don't go well. I was trying to take people into the week of preparation of where the change can start, which can make a Sunday performance bad by players coming to the end of the year of a bad year, maybe not preparing as well. Did you see that in your years as an assistant coach or a head coach where that would start to change during the week of a bad year of preparation?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tough business. You have high expectations when the season starts. You know that, Mike. Everybody has huge expectations, a lot of hope. And when it all goes the other way, you get to week 11, 12, 13, it's difficult to get up to go out there and practice on Wednesday, Thursday. It's hard to read the newspaper. You don't want to turn on the TV, and you don't want to look at your cell phone because every website is crushing you. And the negativity pounds you mentally, and you're beat up physically. And sometimes you see teams go to young players to try and help create some hope for the future, to rekindle the fire, and I think you're going to see that from the Jets. That's all the Cleveland Browns have done all year, just put in a bunch of young players. That's why they do play hard, but I think the Jets are going to infuse some youth, and it starts at quarterback with Bryce Petty.
Mike and John Gruden. And then on the other side, I don't know if we should interpret what we saw as the Colts getting their protection problems together. But for the first time this season, for whatever it's worth, Andrew Luck was not sacked more than once. That's obviously a positive. We have a 3-way tie atop that AFC South, all at 500. Houston, Tennessee, and Indianapolis. You've obviously know all these teams. Generally speaking, which one do you like best? Of those 3 teams, which do you think is the best, and would you project going forward to win the division?
Well, I'm going to go with the Colts. You know, I've said, I've been criticized. I think if there's one guy that I could pick right now to come back and coach a quarterback, it would be Andrew Luck. And you give him a running game, you give him a defense, you see what he's capable of doing. He is a guy that can do it all. They've already beaten the Tennessee Titans twice. So if it is a tiebreaker situation, Colts win that. I just think they can score. I'm concerned with the Texans' ability to score enough points to beat anybody. And if Clowney's hurt, we already know J.J. Watt is out. I just think that in the big picture, the Indianapolis Colts are the team to beat. But you got to take a look at the loss of DeQuell Jackson, their leading tackler and leader on defense. This is not a great defensive team. And you take away DeQuell Jackson, I don't know who's going to play linebacker for Indianapolis.
Yeah, suspended for 4 games. And we had Matthew Stafford on yesterday, and unfair to ask him the question that everybody asks or things they say, is it a better offense without Calvin Johnson, the Hall of Famer, with the offense that they have right now? But I can ask you, is this Detroit Lion offense running better without Calvin Johnson being the main target as opposed to now where there's a bunch of targets?
Well, I think they're better up front, too. I think it starts there. They drafted Decker out of Ohio State to be an offensive tackle. He helps there's different ways to get to the ballpark. You can take Interstate 80. Calvin Johnson was the 81. Take Interstate 81 every day. Sometimes, having other people contribute is good, not only for, getting it done, but just good for the whole attitude of the team. People look forward to coming to work because they know they're going to contribute. And I kind of feel like the Detroit Lions are just better because there's a lot more contributors. There's a lot more energy. There's a lot more ways they can beat you. And the ball's coming out so much quicker with Matt Stafford, and he's doing it without a running game.
Mike and Mike, John Gruden. So let's go through the primetime games. If the ratings aren't all up this week, then I don't know what to make of it because each one has a great game. We have Raiders-Chiefs tomorrow night. The Cowboys and the Giants play Sunday night. And then our game, your game, John, Monday night is the Ravens and the Patriots. So I want to start with Oakland and Kansas City. A lot of people are starting to get excited about the Chiefs. My question to you is, because Brian Billick and I talk a lot about the toxic differential and the significance of big plays. They don't make explosive plays on offense. They don't generally try to. They're very conservative. Do you believe that you can win a championship right now? They can win the AFC with the lack of explosive offensive plays that they generally have in their arsenal?
I think they can if they can get their defense humming again. Get healthy. Peters needs to be healthy. You saw what Eric Berry's capable of doing. I think Bob Sutton is one of the best defensive coaches on the planet. They can beat you on defense, and Andy Reid finds a way to get it done, and they might have the best kicking game in football. If you watch these guys cover kicks, return kicks, the Chiefs can beat you 3 different ways, but Thursday night football is very hard on the visiting team. It's hard on the home team, but when you have to travel from Oakland to Kansas City on a short week, I don't know how the Raiders get any preparation time. I just don't like this Thursday preparation schedule. I think it's unfair, especially to the visiting team that has to travel this far.
You look at Sunday night, Cowboys at the Giants, and this is more general to the Cowboys and the situation they're in. Sitting at 11-1, a couple of games clear of the road running through Dallas for the playoffs. And the question always comes up when you get to a couple of games left, and I don't mean this Sunday, obviously, but a couple of games left. If you have that lead, do you start to rest players? That always comes up. Well, this now magnifies because you have players who are rookies, and you keep talking about this rookie wall. Are they going to hit it? So you have Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott. Is there any way with a couple of games to go or when they get number one locked up, do you rest those guys or one over the other, maybe Zeke, so he doesn't take as many hits? How do you deal with the rookies there?
Yeah, I think I've been guilty of resting players. I think it all depends on who you're talking about. A veteran player, perhaps it has some injuries that's maybe playing at 85, 87%. You want to get this guy well. I don't want to disrupt the rhythm if I'm the head coach, certainly, but you can minimize the looks that you're giving Ezekiel Elliott if it doesn't make a difference in the standings. But I'm not going to do anything but perhaps give Tony Romo some snaps late in the game because he hasn't played much. We might need him, but I'm not going to change the starting lineup dramatically. This is going too well. And I think they want to play better than they did last week against the Vikings personally.
Yeah, and Jerry Jones actually alluded to that, to getting Romo some snaps as we go. All right, John, and then you've got a great one on Monday night, a really interesting game in the AFC, the Ravens at the Patriots. I want to start with Baltimore. Of all the things that happened in the NFL this past weekend, the one that surprised me most was their game against Miami. Not just that they won, but the fashion in which they did. That game is 24-0. Their defense has been better than we thought going in, and they had an explosive offense that day against a team that had won 6 straight games led by Flacco. What are you seeing on the film right now of the Ravens?
Well, I give John Harbaugh a lot of credit. He jump-started the offense by going forward on 4th down twice. And he gave Flacco the ball, and he did something with it. Perryman is emerging as a receiver. Their tight end, Pitta, is one of the great stories in pro football. I thought they'd be in trouble. They lost Ben Watson. They lost Max Williams at tight end, but Dennis Pitta has come on and really been a factor in the middle of the field, coming off all these injuries, and they are playing great football on defense. Dean Pease does an excellent job. and they're getting significant contributions from this rookie class. At the end of the day, this might be one of the best draft classes, including the college free agents, that Ozzie Newsome's had in a long time.
I'm with you, though, on Pitta. What a great story. People thought he was done playing, and now the weapon that he's turning into again, and an offense that certainly could use those weapons. And then for the Patriots, not so much for this game, John, but overall, you know, we keep talking about, you know, they don't have Brady the first 4 games. They're still 3-1. Gronk had missed some time this year, and now he's gone for the rest of the year. Just going forward and what everybody expects New England to do and always able to game plan and overcome things, is there a point where you just say, you know what, it might just be too much when you lose a guy like Gronk?
I call it the Patriot way, Mike. You see it every year. Their ability to adapt is as good as any team, perhaps in the history of the league. You see a fullback plan for them. Very few teams use a fullback. His name is Devlin. He's out of Brown College. Then you look at them, and they're using an extra offensive lineman to play tight end. They're getting Chris Hogan involved. Here's Malcolm Mitchell, number 19, a rookie, making huge plays. And it all comes back to the quarterback. The man is unbelievable. He audibles. He gets out of trouble. He still has incredible quickness in the pocket. And he can handle any adversity thrown at him. And I just can't wait to see Brady and Flacco square off. Don't forget, it'll probably come down to a trick play because Bill Belichick has got the Ravens a couple times in the last couple outings.
All right, so we certainly look forward to that. Should be a really good one. Ravens and Patriots on Monday night. John, as we let you go, let's see if this is better.
There we go.
I mean, that's at least the starting quarterback.
It's simple execution, guys. That's all it is.
Thank you, John. We'll see you Monday night.
All right, guys.
John Gruden with us every Wednesday.
That is awesome. It's simple execution.
Mike and Mike presented by Progressive Insurance. Pick from a range of coverage options. Pick from a range of coverage options with the Name Your Price tool to find a price that works for you. Guys, I don't think this is really that complicated. Can we just put AC/DC or KISS on the board every week?
Well, no, all you need to do.
That's what he likes.
You would have been fine here with Grand Funk Railroad. You just have to know the better. Shining On, I mean, is not near their top 10. So, I mean, the band is fine, but then simply
Brooksy is ripping the listeners now. Brooksy's saying, well, we're just putting up the ones they tweet in.
They don't have to do that. We can be proactive, Brooksy, okay? You can see Grand Funk Railroad shining, unless you just assumed it was their hit, and since you're 10 years old, maybe you did. A simple Google of their top, or Google or ask me, I would know what their hits were, but I mean, as John said, gang, simple execution.
Listen, we are listening to a man in Drew Brooks who once said, all the Beatles songs sound the same. Okay? You can't know less about music than Drew Brooks. We still have yet to figure out what it is he knows about.
That's exactly right.
But we have eliminated music from the list.
Yes, we have.
There's nothing. There certainly could not. He can. You know what he knows a little bit about? Golf. He's a good golfer.
He does know about golf.
Play golf with him.
I'll give him
he
that.
can play golf.
Yeah.
That's his one thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we're Mike and Mike. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. Our guests on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. And you're not going to believe what happened here. I don't think you've seen this. But, you know, Jamel and Mike are coming in as they do regularly here. And they have got this thing started again. This is an argument that we have been having on this show for years. There are two long-standing debates that Mike and Mike have had forever, okay? Is Batman a superhero?
Oh, it's not that one?
It's not that one. It's this one.
Oh, no.
Jamel, whom I love. Anyone who knows me knows how much I love and admire Jamel.
That only can mean with the way you started that she's on my side.
She says that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
And she's right.
Die Hard is absolutely a Christmas movie. Michael agrees with me that it's a Christmas movie.
He's wrong. He just had his tonsils out. He's not coherent at this point.
I don't think that his tonsillar situation has anything to do with his...
Tonsillar.
That's a word. Don't look it up. And then... So the point is that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and I've had to educate you to this many times.
Absolutely not.
To make something a Christmas movie, Christmas doesn't have to be the sole focus of the movie. It just has to be a significant focus. And not only does the movie Die Hard take place around Christmas time, that's not what makes it
doesn't even
a
matter.
Christmas
You
movie.
wouldn't know it if it wasn't a Christmas party that they were at, and that was the reason they were all together. You wouldn't know it was Christmas. It's not a Christmas movie.
Not true. The fact that it's Christmas comes into the plot on multiple occasions. It weaves its way in and out. And maybe most importantly, the whole concept of the significance of him being with his wife, being with his family, wanting to be there for Christmas. It sort of informs the entire spirit of the movie.
Absolutely
Christmas looms over the film in its entirety. It is a brilliant, Die Hard is a much better movie than I think it frequently gets credit for being. It's not just an action movie. It is a great movie.
I agree with that. Well, listen, I love it.
And it is a Christmas movie.
I love it just as an action movie, and there's no way on God's green earth it's a Christmas movie.
Yes, it is.
It's ridiculous to even think of it.
No, it's not.
Because it's a Christmas party setting, so it's the only reason you have a group of people so they can be held hostage and killed one at a time around a Christmas party. That's the only reason Christmas is involved in this. I mean, there is, especially with the dude going in, to our boy Alan Rickman, who was phenomenal as Hans Gruber, trying to negotiate the deal and catching a bullet for it. There's nothing Christmas about shoot the glass, okay? There just isn't.
That particular line, there's nothing Christmas about.
A Christmas movie.
By the way, someone just said in my ear, spoiler alert, that movie is 30 years old.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm sorry, there is a statute of limitations on this sort of thing.
Yeah, it's 29 years and 6 months, okay?
Die Hard is a great movie. It is a Christmas movie.
Not.
We have the question up. Now we're going to have to do a poll.
They're coming on in an hour, so let's do an hour poll.
We are doing a poll that will wrap up roughly. This is a great moment in the history of Mike and Mike. I just got a tweet.
Yep.
It says Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Whoever said it is wrong.
M. Golic, JR57.
Yeah.
Also known as Mike Golic Jr.
Listen.
Your flesh and blood, who knows 1,000 times more about movies than you do.
Does not.
Oh, yes, he does.
Why, because he can name directors and cinematography and stuff? No.
Yes,
you both go watch a movie?
Well, actually, yes.
No.
That's like saying you don't know more about football than me. Why? Because you can name quarterbacks and coaches and things?
At all.
That's the definition
you
of knowing more about
movies. You sit there and watch a movie and you decide what you like about the movie. That's all.
You're a very simple man. Your son obviously has an understanding of nuance that goes well beyond yours. He's right. I'm right. Michael is right. You and Jamel are wrong. The poll is up. Go to the Mike and Mike page on Twitter. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Cast your vote right now. Coming up next, overs and unders with Hembo and why my favorite TV show is one that never got on the air. Those and more after this word from Uber. Golic, this time of year, we could use some extra money. Can go a long way toward making the holidays something special, and thanks to Uber, earning extra money on the side is much easier and faster than ever.
Uber is the ultimate side hustle. Drive with Uber is a new way you can earn extra cash whenever you want. Here's the beauty. You are your own boss, and you can collect as your own boss up to 5 times a day with access to instant cash. That's what your payouts can be. 5 times a day, no minimum amount required. You don't have to wait for Friday or the 15th or the last of the month to get paid. So if you have a few spare hours here and there, drive with Uber. You can earn that extra cash for the holidays. You can buy that special gift that you've been wanting to give. Let your car start making you money. Get your side hustle on. Sign up to Drive with Uber today. Go to uber.com/drive now. That's uber.com/drive now. And Uber is UBER. Uber.com/drive now. Back after this, Mike and Mike.
Mike and Mike, our Sports Center update starts with news in just in the last hour. Oregon has found its man. They're hiring Willie Taggart as their head football coach. He went 10-2 at South Florida this year.
And also congrats to Matt Rule, who was a coach at Temple last 2 years, 10-win seasons for them. He's a new coach at Baylor.
Elsewhere in the NBA, the performance of the night was John Wall. He had a career-high 52. in a loss. Magic beat the Wizards 124-116. And we opened the show this morning with a big trade in baseball yesterday. Chris Sale changing his socks from white to red in a big trade. Chris Sale goes to Boston, but huge prospects, including this kid Moncada that some say is the actual best prospect in all of baseball, going to Chicago. SportsCenter brought to you by American Express.
Hey, you American Express card members, you do not want to miss this. Now through December 31st, a big reason for you to shop small at local stores in your neighborhood. Learn more and how to enroll your eligible card today at americanexpress.com/shop small offer. Terms do apply.
All right. I'm told that we had 400 tweets in the first minute that we brought up, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? There are some topics that just never go away.
Never.
People are over 1,000 now. So I'm told people are just fascinated by this topic. Again, I believe Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Golic disagrees. No. It's going to come up again in an hour because Mike and Jamel are going to be here, and they got this thing going on social yesterday. That's where I saw it. So we have the poll up on the Mike and Mike page on Twitter. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Right now it's going 51 yes, 49 no.
I saw a recent poll. I just Googled it, and one thing that came up, a recent poll said 62% of people do not think it is a Christmas movie. Now, while I was still playing, coming to the end of my career with my in-laws, Ken and Jan Hansen, we bought a video store that we had in Orlando, and we did put Die Hard in the Christmas season.
Oh.
Yeah.
You did?
Oh, yeah. We
Your store?
Yes.
Golic Video Store?
Yes.
What was it called, Golic's Video Store?
First Run Video. First Run Video.
That's a catchy name. Anyway, so the point is...
You want to rip the store?
No, love the store.
Okay.
So the point of it is, you...
Die Hard was...
Who had a choice to put that anywhere in the store you wanted.
Not only in Christmas season. Other than that, it's in with the action films, right? But when Christmas season rolls around...
Why?
Because it'll rent more. Because foolish people believe it's a Christmas movie. What I did is I capitalized on people's stupidity. That's what I did. They unbelievably, for some reason, think that's a Christmas movie. So you know I did? Snickering all the way, ho, 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 laughing all the way. I took it out of the action part and put it in the Christmas part, and people gobbled it up. I had to buy more copies because so many people got it for the Christmas movie. I profited on people being dumb.
One way or another, that is the debate of the morning, and we will have Mike and Jamel with their thoughts on it coming up in an hour here on Mike and Mike. There was a TV show, Mike.
Yes.
That I believe would have been the greatest TV show in the history of the medium.
Easy.
But it never got on the air.
No, it didn't.
I saw a story this morning. Someone remind me where this was. They sent it to me. Chris Mannix's podcast. That Kevin Garnett, when they decided to break up the Celtics, before Paul Pierce talked him into going and continuing his career in Brooklyn, was going to retire, and he pitched a show to Showtime in which he, Kevin Garnett, who never went to college,
right,
was going to go to college. He was going to go to college and live in a dorm and just be a college student, which he'd never been before, and just have cameras follow him around all the time, and it would have been a reality show. And I'll tell you right now, that would have been the greatest show ever.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far.
Oh, come on.
I wonder if it would have been like Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield, where he'd just make this huge, these dorm rooms and be living, high up.
Yeah, Kevin Garnett, who at one time had the biggest contract in the NBA. So he's got hundreds of millions of dollars and did not go to college, but is a really interesting, insightful guy. Mm-hmm. I can see him being interested in going to class. Not only do I think that the social dynamic of having an NBA superstar who's in his mid-30s living in a college dorm would be entertaining.
Yes.
But I also think that seeing him, like the classes that he was taking and the way he was learning and all that sort of thing would be interesting. He's an interesting, smart guy. I would say the same thing about Kobe.
So you
Kobe
would
never
think
set foot
that
on
show would be interesting to watch Kevin Garnett go sit in a classroom.
No, small parts of it. Like to hear him having discussions, whatever. I mean, what if his interest, like you like philosophy, right?
Yes,
Who's your favorite philosopher again?
Kierkegaard. Yeah.
Makes me laugh every time you say that.
What?
But I don't know why. It's just funny.
What?
But anyway, wouldn't you like to see like a small discussion group? Did you actually take philosophy?
Yes,
I did. I minored in philosophy. So you had like a small discussion group.
Yes.
And you would have like a bunch of, 18-year-old kids, and then you would have 35-year-old international superstar, famous, rich Kevin Garnett, and they're discussing Kierkegaard. You don't think that would be interesting? That wouldn't be the whole show, but I do think that would be an interesting part of it. I think it would be an interesting.
What else is
part
going to
of
be
the show.
exciting? What else is going to catch your eye? Him going to the calf?
Well, yeah, just
Whoa!
living like a.
What did he order? I mean,
you don't think that Kevin Garnett living in a college dorm would be interesting? Kobe Bryant, LeBron James.
You know what would
pick
be?
any of the guys who never went to college and send them to college.
Okay, so now he's sitting in a dorm. Do we think he's having a dorm party with 18-year-olds?
Yeah.
You think that's what's going on?
Well, that's what everyone else is doing.
I doubt he's doing
Who's his RA? Can you imagine being Kevin Garnett's RA?
He's 20 years older than his RA.
I'm walking in and setting some of the rules.
The only thing entertaining is if he was in the cafeteria and the next thing you heard was food fight.
Right.
That would be entertaining.
Well, I'm in.
It's not going to happen.
Did that actually happen when you were in college?
No, that
Did you
happened.
have food fights?
It happened in Animal House.
Oh, I understand that, but I mean, that was a movie.
That was entertaining. That was an entertaining college movie.
So the point that you're making is you would not be entertained by seeing a show
I don't think so, no.
where you have this entire generation. By the way, if anyone tries to tell me that that's a spoiler alert on Animal House, I'm getting up and I'm leaving. Okay? That movie came out when I was 10. Anyway, the point of it is this.
Yeah. No, I find nothing entertaining about that.
Oh, I totally disagree.
No, you still have not named anything entertaining for me.
I'll tell you who I think. Remember A-Rod? During the year that he was suspended, went back and took business classes. I think he got an MBA.
Thank God they didn't make a show out of that. I'm sorry, I don't see it very entertaining. I'm not saying that negatively toward Kevin Garnett. Insert former great athlete here and put him back in school. I don't find that entertaining.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
If you went back to college.
Yeah.
And you actually have a college diploma,
No,
don't you?
I have a diploma. I graduated from Notre Dame.
I'm sure that they're extremely proud of that. But anyway, I think that if you were to go back to school and the actual act of if for some reason if we could make it incredibly important to you, I'm just making this up now.
Okay.
There was it would be $5 million if you could actually go back to college, and we'll pick a couple of interesting subjects, and you would have to get all A's, but the professors would have to be grading you like they genuinely grade everyone else. And if you could get an A in 4 legitimate college classes, and we could mutually choose the classes, you would get some amount of money that actually meant
4 classes in one whole semester.
Well, I use. Yeah. That's how many I would take. How many did you take?
12
okay,
hours.
it's 4, right?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, 12 hours.
So you would take, because my school had trimesters,
right,
so it was a little different. We didn't do hours.
We had to take usually 15 hours is what we took.
We didn't do it by hours, but whatever.
All right.
The point, we had to do 4 credits per trimester. So you would have to go, and the professors would have to legitimately grade you like everybody else, and you would win some amount of money that legitimately mattered to you, $10 million, if you actually got all A's. And we could just follow that, and I think it would be fascinating.
What would be, if I had to get all A's? Yeah. What would be fascinating?
The discussions, listening to you talking.
Forgetting that, of me studying,
groups.
that would be I would be studying my butt off to try and win the $10 million. But what's exciting about that?
We can edit down those hours in the library
I
into
understand
like 4
that.
minutes, and then we could go through other things.
4 minutes of me studying would be boring TV.
4 minutes of you. I'd like to just see all the different times you would change position.
Oh, it'd be a lot.
Parts of the room you'd go to. I'm on a couch. I'm at a table. I'm
on the
upstairs.
floor.
I'm downstairs. I'm eating this snack.
drunk,
I'm having
I'm
that
sober.
snack. Okay, and that too.
Yeah.
Living like a college student again, but actually having to get. This isn't. It's just a great idea.
Going back to the Kevin Garnett thing, again, I keep going into the cafeteria. Boy, just seeing, I don't know, him standing there and go, should I have the pancake or the waffle? That would be riveting TV. Riveting.
Was that the extent of your thought?
Pretty
there?
much,
Okay,
yeah. Riveting TV.
I thought you were building to something.
Yeah.
All right. And one way or another, I think it would be interesting, and I actually think sending Golic back to school would be fascinating. Coming up next, we'll go over and under. Hembo put together a bunch of over-unders for us here, which will include one on a team that might just set an NBA record this year, and it isn't Golden State. That plus Mike and Jamel and Tim Legler and Doris Burke and much more still to come on Mike and Mike after a word from Dollar Shave Club. Mike, for years now, we've been talking about the amazing, affordable Dollar Shave Club razors. But razors aren't the only thing you need in the bathroom. How about all your shower stuff?
Yep, Dollar Shave Club has thought of that. They have a new line of shower products called Wanderer that includes shampoo and body wash. The club's products work incredibly well. The service is world-class. No long-term commitments, no hidden fees. Best of all, they're giving away 1 month trial of any of their razors for $1 with free shipping. After that, it's just a few bucks a month. Get your $1 trial at dollarshaveclub.com/Mike. That's dollarshaveclub.com/Mike. We're back after this, Mike and Mike.
Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit Geico.
Mike and Mike, our Sports Center brought to you by Shell. Sports fans, if you're heading out to watch the game, you need a fill-up. Why not join the Fuel Rewards program and earn rewards on Shell Fuel? Members save on their Shell fill-up every day. So sign up free today at fuelrewards.com/ESPN. Again, for the rest of the country just joining us, the news coming out of New York. The Giants' Jason Pierre-Paul is having sports hernia surgery. He will not play Sunday night as the Giants play the Cowboys, and that's a significant loss for them as they go into that game. The division race is probably hopelessly out of reach, so they are looking to maintain that wild card positioning in an NFC where suddenly Tampa's getting hot. Does Green Bay catch a little fire now? It's probably too quick to say that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Giants are sitting pretty
they are.
in their wild card spot.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And this is going to – listen, I think even with JPP, Dallas is the better team, and Dallas was in a better position to win this game, but this certainly doesn't help. And, JPP is going to miss some time. That's for a defensive line that has gotten back to putting pressure on the quarterback. Again, he was 7. Olivier Vernon, who they spent money on, with 8 sacks of theirs, so they have 15 of their – they have over, half of their 27 sacks. So you take one of those away, and that hurts. As I said, especially this week with a mobile quarterback like Dak Prescott, you want to keep him contained, and JPP is athletic enough to do that and won't be there.
All right, we're Mike and Mike, and it's time now for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Best phones, best networks. Half the cost. For our Straight Talk this morning, let's bring in Hembo, our professional researcher, who has gone through a variety of numbers around the world of sports, and he has created some over-unders for us, and we'll see, Mike, if we go over or under. Hembo, the floor is yours. Watch the first one.
Over under 41 triple-doubles for Russell Westbrook this season.
So he has... at one point, he had 11 in 22 games,
correct,
right?
On pace for 41 as of now.
And didn't we find out that Oscar Robertson had 10, in his first 12 games or something? The pace he had was ridiculous. I could be wrong on those numbers. I'm saying this to a numbers guy. I'm going under. I don't think he's going to do that.
I predicted before the season that he would average a triple-double for the season. You don't have to have 41 triple-doubles in order to do that. And so I, too, am going to go under. And the reason I'm going to go under is pretty simple. Something that's never happened before, I'm not willing to bet it's going to happen.
No.
It doesn't mean it can't, but I think smart money says if no one has ever done it in the whole history of the sport, he's not going to do it either, so I'll go under. Hembo, next.
Over under 34.5 road wins for the Spurs this season.
The Spurs are 13-0 at home this season.
Right.
The NBA record is 34, set by the Warriors last year.
Remember, last year the Spurs won 40 home games last year, but we're talking about on the road here. I'm going to go under on that as well.
The Spurs are one road win away from tying Golden State's record last year of most consecutive road wins to start a season. Very quietly, as they seem to do everything, the Spurs are awesome.
They are, but what does Pop do?
Yeah, he's not going to play these guys.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I'll take the under on how many of those games his best players play.
Exactly.
Much less how many they win, so I, too, will take the under. Hembo, next.
Over under 2.5 remaining losses for Dak Prescott, including the playoffs.
Will Dak Prescott lose 3 more games?
Wow.
They have 4 games left in the regular season.
Giants, Buccaneers, Lions, Eagles.
Want to give them 3-1 there? If they go 3-1 there, then he can't go over.
He can't go over.
Can't lose more than 1 playoff game.
I'm going to say under. I'll say under. And they better hope the under if I say 2 that they're all in the regular season and not in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean
it's a tough ask. Even in the playoffs, as great as they're playing, to make that Super Bowl run with a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back.
Is playing night games harder than playing day? They're right now on a stretch where they're going to play 4 consecutive night games. They played the Vikings at night. Yeah,
it's one of those that you can spin any way you want. I hated night games. I hated sitting around all day. I loved 1 o'clock games. Get up, get ready to play. But I can't answer that. That's a personal preference on me. So, the one thing you can say is preparing for a Thursday game is difficult off a Sunday game. But as far as just night games, I know they have 4 night games in a row. I don't particularly see that as a big issue.
I'm going to go under also.
Yeah.
I'm going to go under. I think they're going to keep winning. And if they go 3-1 the rest of the regular season, they can't go over. So I will go under. Over-unders with Hembo. Go next.
Over under 15, the number of points Alabama will beat Washington by in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl.
From a touchdown standpoint, I understand Alabama's given up 14 touchdowns this year. And their defense and special teams have scored 14 touchdowns.
Are you giving 15 points against Washington?
Washington can score some points, but I don't think they're beating.
How good is Washington's defense? That's the question.
Washington defense
forever. Washington, if Alabama's going to get beat, they're going to beat them with defense, not with offense.
They're not an elite. I think they're a really good defense. They're not an elite defense. Their offense, Browning's thrown for over 40 touchdowns, though he struggles under duress, and he'll be under duress. They have 2 playmaking wide receivers, a good running back. Just for fun, I'm going to say over. But you know what? I don't really believe it.
Well, that's not really fun. Is that fun? You're going to say they're going to beat him by over 15?
Number of points? No. We'll beat by. I thought it was allow. No.
Allow.
15
are you giving 15 points in the game?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm giving 15.
You're giving 15?
Yeah.
So that's not fun.
No. I misread, obviously.
There's nothing fun about that at all.
No.
So you think it's a blowout?
Yes. I think they're going to win both their games by double digits.
You do?
The only game I think could have a shot is Clemson. Washington, I just don't think Browning does well enough under duress, and he's going to be under duress in this game. He throws the ball really well, but he struggles when he has pressure. He's going to have pressure, but I do like their wideouts. I like their running back. I do like their defense, especially, I love those interior D linemen who don't wear anything on their hands at all, those savages. And the defense, I think, it's pretty good defense. It really is. So I said Washington was one of those teams I think, if Browning can get passes off, can give them a game. I don't think they're going to. I think Alabama has the ability to win the next 2 games by double digits, save for possibly Clemson. And obviously Clemson made it a game last year.
All right, we'll see what happens. Again, 15 points. I will go over very quickly. Last one, Hembo, fast.
Over under $400 million, number of dollars Bryce Harper will earn in his next free agent contract.
I'm going to say under. Is he going to get $400 million?
Well, again, Giancarlo Stanton got $325. Bryce Harper, we know, is going to get more than that. He's going to get more than that.
No, but there's a wide gap.
That is $75 million. Well, when you're tossing around $325, what's another $75 amongst friends?
I get it, but it's still $75 million we're talking
over
about.
10 years, though.
I'm going to go under. I mean, you're talking about another $7 million a year on the deal.
I say he gets it.
You think he's going to get $400 million?
He's going to get it.
I'll take the under, but I'll tell you what, I'll take a piece. Straight Talk Wireless, nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable networks. Coming up next, I think you can make an argument. Our next guest has now become the coolest person in sports. It's Doris Burke, and then Mike and Jamel. Don't miss it, Mike and Mike.
When you're opening a new office location, but deadlines don't let up, you need to make sure your team can start working fast, which means all of a sudden, you're looking to buy new conference tables, chairs, laptops, and whiteboards quickly. Business cards from American Express Open can give you buying power to help cover the big purchases you need to make when you need to make them. Find out how American Express cards and services can help prepare you for growth at open.com.
I'm George Sedano on the latest NBA Lockdown podcast. Amin Elhassan, Kevin Pelton, and I discuss Klay Thompson's 60-point performance, how the Toronto Raptors are the second-best offense in the NBA behind the Warriors, and can the NBA lead the charge on the marijuana issue in sports?
Number 1 Alabama faces 4th-ranked Washington, followed by number 2 Clemson versus 3rd-ranked Ohio State. The College Football Playoff, New Year's Eve at 2 Eastern on ESPN and on ESPN Radio.